From the moment most people first hear about the Bible, it is presented as a sacred, complete, and perfectly understood book. It is taught in churches, quoted in speeches, and followed by billions across the world. But what if the version you've been taught is only part of a much deeper, more complex story? What if there are layers, mysteries, and even uncomfortable truths that were never fully explained? Today, we are diving into the Bible secrets they never taught you in church. Ideas that challenge assumptions, reveal hidden context, and might completely change how you see this ancient text forever. The first thing many people don't realize is that the Bible is not a single book. It is actually a collection of dozens of books written over a span of more than 1,000 years by different authors in different regions under different circumstances. These texts were written in ancient languages like Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, and then translated countless times across centuries. Each translation involves interpretation, and interpretation always carries human bias. This means that what you read today is not just the original words, it is a version shaped by history, culture, and decisions made long after the original authors were gone. One of the biggest secrets rarely discussed openly is how the Bible was actually compiled. The process of deciding which books would be included and which would be left out was not simple or universally agreed upon. Early religious leaders debated intensely about what should be considered divinely inspired. Some texts that were widely read and respected in early communities were ultimately excluded. These are often referred to as the Apocrypha, or lost books. Writings like the Book of Enoch or the Gospel of Thomas contain ideas and stories that are very different from the traditional teachings most people know today. The fact that these books were left out raises a powerful question. How different would Christianity look if those texts had been included? Another rarely taught truth is that many stories in the Bible are deeply symbolic rather than strictly literal. In church, stories are often presented as straightforward historical events, but scholars have long recognized layers of metaphor, allegory, and poetic expression within the text. For example, the story of creation in Genesis is not just about the beginning of the world, it also reflects ancient understandings of order, chaos, and humanity's place in the universe. When you look at the Bible through this lens, it becomes less about literal timelines and more about meaning, purpose, and spiritual insight. Then there's the issue of translation itself, which hides some of the most fascinating secrets. Words in ancient languages often have multiple meanings, and some concepts simply don't have direct equivalents in modern English. For instance, the word often translated as hell comes from several different original words, each with its own nuance and context. Some refer to a physical place, others to a state of being, and some to symbolic destruction rather than eternal punishment. Over time, these distinctions were blurred, creating a single, simplified idea that may not fully reflect the original intent. Another secret lies in the cultural context of the Bible. The world in which these texts were written was vastly different from today's society. Social norms, laws, and daily life were shaped by ancient traditions that can seem strange or even harsh by modern standards. Many controversial passages in the Bible make much more sense when understood in their original context. Without that context, it's easy to misinterpret the meaning or apply it incorrectly to modern life. This is something rarely emphasized in church teachings, where the focus is often on application rather than historical background. One of the most surprising aspects of the Bible is how often it challenges authority and expectations. Many of the central figures in the Bible were not perfect heroes. They were flawed, complex individuals who made mistakes, struggled with doubt, and faced serious consequences for their actions. This includes kings, prophets, and even disciples. The idea that faith is not about perfection, but about growth and persistence is a powerful message. Yet it is often overshadowed by simplified versions of these stories that focus only on their victories. There are also mysteries within the Bible that remain unsolved to this day. From the identity of certain figures to the meaning of prophetic visions, there are passages that scholars still debate. The book of Revelation, for example, is filled with symbolic imagery that has been interpreted in countless ways over the centuries. Some see it as a prophecy prophecy of the future, others as a reflection of events in the past, and still others as a timeless message about the struggle between good and evil. The fact that there is no single agreed-upon interpretation shows just how complex and layered the Bible truly is. Another hidden truth is the role of power and politics in shaping how the Bible has been used throughout history. While the text itself is spiritual, the way it has been interpreted and enforced has often been influenced by political agendas. Leaders have used certain passages to justify authority, control, or social structures, sometimes ignoring other parts of the Bible that promote compassion, equality, and justice. This selective interpretation has played a major role in how the Bible is perceived and practiced today. Perhaps one of the most overlooked secrets is how personal the Bible can be. While it is often taught as a fixed set of rules or doctrines, the reality is that people experience it in deeply individual ways. The same passage can inspire different meanings for different people, depending on their life experiences, struggles, and perspectives. This personal connection is part of what keeps the Bible relevant for so many generations, yet it is not always encouraged in traditional settings where interpretation is guided by authority. There is also the question of contradictions within the Bible, which is another topic rarely discussed openly in church. Some passages appear to conflict with others, raising difficult questions about consistency and interpretation. Rather than dismissing these contradictions, many scholars see them as evidence of the Bible's human element, different authors expressing their understanding of faith in different ways. This doesn't necessarily weaken the message. Instead, it can make it more relatable and dynamic. One of the most powerful secrets of the Bible is its focus on transformation. At its core, the Bible is not just about laws, stories, or prophecies. It is about change. It tells the story of individuals and communities who struggle, fail, learn, and ultimately grow. This theme of transformation is what gives the Bible its enduring impact. It speaks to the idea that no matter where you start, change is always possible. Another fascinating aspect is how the Bible has influenced not just religion, but culture, art, and history. Its stories have inspired countless works of literature, paintings, music, and even modern films. Many phrases and ideas that people use every day actually come from the Bible, often without them realizing it. This widespread influence is a testament to its power as a text, but it also means that its meanings have been adapted and reshaped in many different ways. There is also the idea of hidden wisdom within the Bible, lessons that are not immediately obvious but become clearer with deeper study. Parables, for example, are simple stories on the surface but contain profound truths about human nature, morality, and spirituality. These layers of meaning are what make the Bible a text that people can return to again and again, always discovering something new. Finally, one of the biggest secrets they never taught you in church is that questioning the Bible doesn't necessarily mean rejecting it. In fact, asking questions can lead to a deeper understanding and a more meaningful connection with the text. Doubt, curiosity, and exploration are not enemies of faith. They can be part of the journey. The Bible itself contains stories of individuals who questioned, struggled, and sought answers, showing that this process is not only natural, but also valuable. In the end, the Bible is far more than what is often presented in a typical church setting. It is a complex, layered, and deeply human collection of writings that invites exploration, reflection, and interpretation. The secrets within it are not hidden because they are meant to be kept from you, but because they require effort, curiosity, and open mind to uncover. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of all, that the Bible is not just a book to be read, but a journey to be experienced.
I'm home.
Welcome back.
It's good to see you.
And you.